Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. For the last two episodes, we've been using this really fun Lilligant and Drapion team, so we'll be playing one last episode with it. Once again, this team was built by a player called Geovanni. You can find him linked in the description below. And, okay, we're up against... Did we go up against this on Road to Rank the other day? Oh, I don't think so, actually. I remember I was playing some, like, casual games. And I think this was one of the teams that we went up against. Actually, I really don't remember. No, we did play against this, right? Did we? Am I going crazy? Hold on, I actually gotta double check. I think we might have gone up against this in the first episode. With this team. Yeah, this is the team. Okay. If it's slightly different. Is it the same opponent, actually? It must be, right? Like, to have all of those same Pokemon? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, so this was actually the same opponent that we played against with in our very first episode with this team. So I just wanted to double check that. But that was a really interesting team, right? They led with... And there's Whimsicott this time around, so there's Tailwind. No Porygon Z this time around. So that means leading Torkoal Lilligant is a little bit less safe because they could just go Whimsicott and Tailwind turn 1. So we'll probably want a Trick Room in this match, ideally. But I don't know if it's super easy to actually get that off. Because I think Whimsicott's definitely coming out as a lead. And then it's going to be next to... What would you lead with? I kind of want to go Urshifu, P2, Torkoal Hat. If we get Trick Room up in this game, we win. But I don't know how easy it will be to get it up because we don't have Fake Out or Redirection support. So, yeah. Let's get into the first game of today's episode. Once again, huge thank you to Geovanni for making this team public. Congrats to him for making the Players' Cup Finals. Once again, you can tune into the finals next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, at Pokemon's Twitch and YouTube channel. I'll be commentating that, so hope to see some of you there. Question of the day, I'm curious what Pokemon you think people are sleeping on at the moment. Definitely curious in everyone's opinions. Let me know in the comments below, and let's just get started. As always, if you guys enjoy, please share support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. It's going to be Whimsicott Urshifu. Huh. We get a special attack boost. I mean, there's no way. It is Dark Urshifu, but my Urshifu kind of gets dunked on here. Do you think... I mean, the question is, does my opponent just go for a taunt? Turn 1? Dark Urshifu. I don't think the Urshifu maxes. Moonblast is going to dunk on my Urshifu, so that's going to really hurt. I got a special attack boost on this thing. I'm wondering if there's, like, any merit to ally switching. I just, like... I think the odds of me getting a Trick Room up are really unlikely, so if I go for, like, Ally Switch, Close Combat, only one of these Pokemon can have a Sash, right? I'm going to try the Ally Switch here, because I think the priority here should be onto my Porygon, because it's just such a big threat with its ability to set up Trick Room. Oh my goodness, this guy just Tailwinded in front of a Porygon. He did not care. Wow. Is that Bandit then? Even if it were Bandit, I don't think you would be KOing Porygon. I just... Oh my goodness. I mean, if I just, like, close combat Trick Roomed, what do you even do against that? It's not what I expected to see, but okay. We get a crit there, but I'm not sure it really matters because the Urshifu had the defense drop, and obviously it's super effective. Huh. I'm also, like, trying to think how, like, Torkoal Lilligant... How Whimsicott Urshifu beats Torkoal Lilligant. Because I wasn't expecting Urshifu to come out immediately, but Volcarona comes out. I mean, can't I just set up Trick Room now? Unless you actually have Taunt, which I think is likely. I think we saw String Shot the other day. I'm just going to try to Trick Room. I mean, maybe they don't have Taunt if they didn't go for turn 1. Like, that's just super surprising to me. And I don't mind giving up the Urshifu here. I think trading Urshifu for a knockout. Oh. I'm just shocked they didn't go for that on turn 1. There's no way they have Taunt then, right? Because, like... That's hilarious. So neither the Whimsicott nor the Urshifu had Focus Sash. That's cool, man. Respect. Respect. Let's go out in a hat. I got his Eviolite. Switcheroo. I mean, I have 2 Trick Room users now. If I get Trick Room up with either, we're good. The question is whether I want to click the Trick Room button with both Pokemon right now. I should have seen that Switcheroo coming. Should have seen it coming. So they have Eviolite, 2 turns of Tailwind. Can max the Volk and go for max Flutterby onto Hatterene. Oh man, I really want to click Trick Room with both Pokemon right now. What if they actually had Taunt this entire time too? Right? Like that's what I'm worried about. If we get Trick Room, we win. That's why I want to click Trick Room with both Pokemon, expecting one of them to get knocked out here. I don't know if this was the play. Volcarona maxing is a good sign, though, but if Whimsicott had Taunt this entire time, I guess the other problem is that means I have to max the Torkoal, right? Maybe I needed to max Hatterene here. I got Switcherooed. Respect, respect. Yeah, I just can't believe their turn 1 play was to just Tailwind. Max Flare. Okay, wait, this is... Oh no. Wait, is there Whimsicott Trick Rooming too? Oh no, it's Moonblast. Okay. Oh my goodness. Wait, so Volcarona is faster than the Whimsicott. I thought we were going to see a triple Trick Room, and that was... we're in the makings of the craziest turn of all time. I don't know, like, I just, like, don't feel safe, like, not clicking Trick Room with both Pokemon there, because I think it's so likely one of the two get knocked out, and I think, like, Whimsicott hasn't been going for taunts. I don't think it has it. We've seen Switcheroo, Tailwind, Moonblast. Now we're actually in a fantastic position, right? Because I can just max the Hat, Mindstorm, and Eruption. Oh my goodness. What is this game? Max Volcarona, that's super cool. I had to have been banned at Urshifu, right? I can't see another explanation for the play my opponent made turn 1 otherwise. Because I think, like, you'd want to really force out the Trick Room option, so then, like, Switcheroo close combat into Porygon is at least a little bit safer. So my opponent had to have made that play knowing that they were confident they were going to pick up the knock. I wonder if ban close combat is actually a guaranteed 1-hit KO. I would think so, especially if you're admin, but... Okay, so yeah, Whimsicott's last attack is Protect. So it's Protect, Switcheroo, Moonblast, Tailwind, so no Taunt. I don't know if Eruption and Mindstorm KO, to be honest, and I'm worried that the Volt can just one-shot either... Oh wait, that's so much damage though. Let's see, let's see. It's going to be close. I think I might hang on with just a little bit. Oh, it does. It does. Maybe I should have double protected here. Let's see if it one-shots either of our Pokemon. It's going to be Flutterby. Okay. So it gets the special attack drop, which is obviously a problem. Oh, that does nothing. Okay, we're good then. I was scared for a bit, but I think now with multiple turns of Trick Room up, we should be okay. That's why I was prioritizing Trick Room so much in this game. I bet the Whimsicott's bulky then. Like, Volk is probably max speed and Whimsicott is not max speed. But my opponent doesn't have any switch-ins to... I don't want to Mindstorm here. I'd rather Smite just because there's a potential Zoroark in the back. Although I think that's highly unlikely. Like, here I think your play is to max guard Volcarona and probably just sacrifice the Whimsicott. But, yeah, I think just going for full offense at this point is fine. Going for double Trick Room is just so scary in the off chance that neither of my Pokemon got knocked out that turn, but I think it was safe to assume my opponent didn't have Taunt, because if they did, they definitely would have gone for it earlier. So that I wasn't worried about. Okay, Whimsicott just goes for a double and doesn't get it. Yep, and Volcarona just max guards, that's fine. Unfortunately, I don't get to confuse the Volcarona here, but I don't think there's much my opponent can do, because their team is really weak to Trick Room, honestly. So it's all about denying the Trick Room, which is why I wanted to have both Porygon and Hatterene in this game. But the main thing here was that, like, if my opponent actually doubled up onto Hatterene, I lose my best max option, and I'm left with Torkoal and Porygon, and I probably actually lose from there. So we're lucky that my opponent decided to focus down the Porygon that turn instead of the Hatterene. But that's why I wanted to Trick Room that turn instead of maxing as well, because if I max the Hatterene there and I don't get Trick Room up, then Volcarona outside of Trick Room kind of wrecks me, I think. So let me just make sure. Yep, 2 turns of Trick Room left. So I think we're fine to just Smite into Braviary and Eruption here. Braviary will most likely go for a Protect, so I might as well get a Confusion off onto it. Eruption's going to knock out the Volcarona, and yep, we'll take this first game. This team is so interesting. You know, someone mentioned in the comment section the other day, like, why is there a Porygon 2 instead of Indeedee? Which was an interesting question because, they do fulfill, like, pretty different roles. And the main reason is because, like, with this team, you can set up Trick Room with Porygon, and then Hatterene can just get 3 turns of really, really powerful maxes off. Often the problem with Hatterene is that you're bringing it out to set up Trick Room as well, so it often takes a lot of damage. And the thing is that, like, having 2 Trick Room users on this team is really, really valuable because you're kind of not pigeonholed into just using one Pokemon to set up Trick Room the entire time. This is a really interesting team. Krookodile, Dragalge. I wonder if it's like Bulldoze Krookodile. There's obviously Tailwind and Trick Room, and then they've got Hat Indeedee as well. Huh. But then they also have the Tailwind option, so if I just lead Lilligant Torkoal, and then they lead like Talonflame Krookodile, you could just Tailwind Max Quake into Torkoal, which wouldn't be great. This is a really tricky matchup in Team Preview. I don't really know what to do. Max Hat looks very good against my opponent's entire team. I'll probably want Trick Room up. Drapion actually has some value because my opponent has Dual Psychic. Don't know if I feel great about Urshifu. Maybe regular Urshifu, because Urshifu puts on pressure with damage, right? So if I go Urshifu Porygon, it's like you can't ignore the Urshifu. I definitely want Hatterene in the back. Drapion? Or Torkoal? Torkoal does a lot. My opponent's fire resists are the Dragalge and the Talonflame. Talonflame's not that scary. Drapion is pretty good against the psychic stuff here, though. I'm gonna give Drapion a shot. Because this means, like, if I get Trick Room up, like, the thing about this matchup, there's so much speed control from my opponent's team. Like, I want to give myself multiple options. I don't want to just lock myself into Trick Room, because they could potentially reverse my Trick Room. And if they Tailwind, then Drapion has even more value if we get up the Trick Room ourselves. But the idea behind leading Urshifu Porygon is that it puts on a lot of pressure damage-wise. It's Krookodile Urshifu. Okay, Torkoal Lilligant would have been pretty good into this, but I think my Urshifu is actually not in a terrible spot. It's not Intimidate either. Okay. Moxie? Or is it gonna be... Oh, it's Anger Point. Oh, it's totally Anger Point, isn't it? Yep. Because you're just gonna Wicked Blow crit your Krookodile. But that means you're not Focus Sashed, right? So can't I just launch a Close Combat into that slot in Trick Room? I think so. Yeah. I don't know. I think this is okay. Alright, they're maxing. Maybe it's... yeah, I don't know if Close Combat knocks out. But then I still have speed with the Urshifu for the subsequent turn. Yeah, so Krookodile maxes. That's not surprising. I think it's probably Sash on the Urshifu. Yeah, so you're going to Wicked Blow to crit your own Krookodile right now. Oh, no, they just offer Close Combat. Okay. Yeah, it might just be a double up onto the Porygon slot, which I think would make a lot of sense as well. Oh, the Krookodile's faster. Okay, I didn't know that. This is KO. Dude, Porygon is so good, man. It's so good. Yeah, that's like that puts my opponent in a terrible spot, honestly. Nice. Maybe I should have Surging Strikes there, actually. Oh, it's buried. Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Because you... Oh, but it's Key Berry. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Well... That means it's what? Scarf on the Urshifu? Probably? Is it crazy that I want to max the Urshifu? Probably. I think it's likely a Crook protects here. So I'm just going to Close Combat into the Urshifu and recover, I think. The main thing is that we've got our opponent to max already, and the fact that it's Krookodile maxing is huge because it's not actually doing too much against us. We've got Hatterene and Torkoal in the back too. Or sorry, no, I brought Drapion. Oh, Urshifu switches though. Into Hat? Indeedee. Okay, well this is where... that's a nice switch. Well, let's see if Max Guard came out. Either way though, I've got Dazzling Gleam from the Hat anyway. Yeah, they Max Guarded. Okay, so I get a ton of damage off this turn, which is great. I wonder if Close Combat from this turn and then a Thunderbolt next turn is enough to just knock out the Indeedee. see. This alone is going to do a ton of damage. It's not enough, though. Okay. That's okay, though. I think here my opponent has to... you could Expanding Force, I guess. Another berry, okay. So this is Citrus, most likely. Yep. I think Expanding Force is likely to come out here. I like the idea of just going out into Drapion. And clicking Recover again. I need the free switching into my Hatterene right now, basically. But I don't want to give up Urshifu either. Yeah, Porygon is so good, though. Like, the fact it can take up close combat and a max move just shows how powerful it is. That being said, Krookodile is not one of, like, the stronger, you know, max mons, but still. I'm wondering if it was maybe actually better to just give up the Porygon here. Torkoal would have been better for us in the back here, but I like the idea of Drapion for switch-ins for Expanding Force. Okay, they just went for Follow Me, which is also fine, because now I can just pressure with Night Slash the subsequent turn. I guess they might have... they probably actually Max Quaked into the Drapion, which is fine, because then I get the Hatterene in, right? You know what's really cool with Hatterene that we could do is go for a double Trick Room. Steel Spike. Whoa. Okay. That doesn't do very much. Coming from Iron Head, I believe, right? Or Iron Tail, but that's fine, especially because Drapion can actually crit through that. Max is over now, so I think this next turn I want to go for a... Yeah, I am slowly stalling out my own Trick Room, right? But if my opponent knocks out Drapion here and I get Hatterene in, I can go for that double Trick Room play that I'm talking about. I think here I'm just going to Night Slash into the Indeedee and go for a... Oh, I can't Thunderbolt. Maybe switching Porygon... no, I don't want to switch Hatterene in on Iron Head. That's my one fear. So I think Night Slash into Indeedee here and just Recover is fine. Let's see. I mean, Indeedee probably wants to Protect here, I would think. This is an interesting game. I don't know if I've played this super, super well so far. It was obviously great Porygon was able to survive, but this game would have been a lot easier if I just brought Torkoal out. Maybe I should have, but I really want to bring Drapion as much as I can because it's just such a cool pick. Okay, and then he switches out. That's fine by me. Into Dragalge. Interesting. Okay. Ideally, like, the Krookodile knocks out the Drapion, so I get a free switch into a Hatterene. And then I can max Hatterene and go from there. Okay, we outspeed Krookodile, which is nice. A little bit of nice damage with Night Slash. They're going to Earthquake themselves to activate Weakness Policy, but when I mean activate Weakness Policy, I actually meant just KO themselves. Okay. Huh. But the problem is, like, can I deal with the late game Krookodile plus Urshifu? I don't know. Although, this Urshifu's... I would think... Oh, you don't need to be Scarfed, actually, I guess. Because I'm just worried about, like, the late game crit into your own Krookodile and just sweep me from there. Through Earthquakes. Because the play I want to go for here is just Cross Poison and Thunderbolt into Urshifu, but maybe Urshifu does have Protect. Oh, they forfeit. I don't think they needed a forfeit there. This game wasn't over yet. You could bring out Indeedee there and, like, stall out my Trick Room. I don't know. I mean, I was obviously in a really good spot, but I guess if they didn't have Protect on Indeedee and Urshifu... No, I still think it was possible to win. Because I think what you do if you're my opponent is basically bring out the Indeedee, protect Krookodile, sacrifice Indeedee, get a free switch into Urshifu, Wicked Blow into your Krookodile, and then just Earthquake, and then try to just win with a late game Crook. Although I guess you don't win off that because I can just max one of my Pokemon, like max Urshifu, and then probably just win off that. Especially because we have max Airstream, so I can just Airstream, outspeed, and then go for any attack into Krookodile on the last turn. Either way, though, that was a really interesting matchup. We got up against some really cool Pokemon today. Okay. We've definitely played this player before. I think they were using Dracozolt, like pre-Series 5 as well. So interesting to see it come out again. Now, I have to deal with Imprison. Dracozolt actually looks really tough to go up against here. I don't know. Part of me wants to go Lilligant. You have to account for... Because with Lilligant Torkoal, well, I was going to say I could just Sleep Powder turn 1, but no, I think if Whimsicott is taunt, you just taunt into Lilligant and then Max Quake into Torkoal, so that's not great. So how do I beat Whimsicott Dracozolt? Or, like, I don't know, Indeedee Dracozolt. That could also be it. Like, my opponent's team is just so offensive, it's very, very scary. In this kind of matchup, once again, if we like get Trick Room up, we probably win. But the odds of getting Trick Room up are pretty slim. It's also getting kind of dark, so let me turn on some lights real quick. There we go. Man, this is such a scary matchup. Lily, Cole, P2, Hat. Yeah, I don't know. Drapion doesn't feel great here because it gets one-shot by like Dracovish, Dracozolt, and the Cinderace. With Lilligant Torkoal, at least like if my opponent leads incorrectly, we're actually not in terrible shape. I think Whimsicott Dragozolt's what I'm fearing the most here. And if they did end up leading that, then I don't know, like Porygon plus Hatterene maybe could have put in some work. Let's see. So Whimsicott Indeedee. Okay, I'll take that. I will take that. Because this is... so, like, at least with this, they can't go for a... You can't shut down my Trick Room immediately, right? Indeedee is what base? Is it 90 or 95? I actually don't remember off the top of my head. Because it is Indeedee male. Can you do Tailwind here? I mean, if you don't Tailwind, I can just... I'll definitely be able to get the After You Eruption off, right? They can't taunt anymore either because of Psychic Terrain being up. Pretty sure Indeedee is base 90, right? I just thought I'd rather Leaf Storm Heat Wave, maybe. P2 Hat in the back. We need to knock out Indeedee so that we can get Trick Room up. And I think Indeedee might be sashed here. No, Whimsicott probably has it, right? Okay. Yeah, they're just expanding force, but I couldn't really After You there. At least I'll KO the Indeedee here. So much damage, though. Okay, we don't miss, which is good. Yeah, Whimsicott probably has Sash. I don't see what other item you... Yeah, you could run Koba on it, actually. Yeah, it's not Sashed. Okay, so I think my assumption of Sash on Indeedee was actually fine to make. So we pick up a double knockout, but now my opponent gets 2 switch-ins, and their team is so hyper-offensive. So it's like, even though we got that, I don't know if we're actually in a great spot, because we took a lot of damage turn 1. Like, I expect Dracozolt. Yep. And it's Bisharp or Cinderace, one of the two. Oh, Dracovish. Okay, the Fossil Brothers are out, and Tailwind is up. Dracovish should be Scarf, so if you're my opponent, I think you just Vicious Ren into the Lilligant here, and Max Quake into Torkoal. But I've got P2 and Hatterene. So, I think what we do here is Protect. And sack the Torkoal. Yawning doesn't really accomplish very much because they probably are going to Max Lightning here anyway. Well, actually, Max Lightning is really bad, isn't it? Because it means they get the terrain up as well. Dracovish is, I think, going to be Scarfed and just lock itself into Vicious Ren. So my Lilligant is pretty dang useless right now. But I've got, like P2, if I get Trick Room up, I win. But I just don't know if I can because there's just going to be so much damage coming out. The upside, at least, is that Sun is up, so Vicious Ren is doing less. But Dracozolt's really going to pack a punch here. But I just don't want to give up both Pokemon immediately. Oh, Rock Slide, actually. Okay, well, at least it confirms it's Scarf. Well, I guess it's not guaranteed confirm. You could be faster, but... And there's Max Lightning, yeah. Into Torkoal. Okay, that's fine. Means I can't Sleep Powder anymore, though. But Rock Slide doesn't do that much. So the question is whether P2 can survive, like a Rock Slide and a Max Lightning. Is it Life Orb? Because I think Life Orb's actually on Cinderace. Yeah, I think we could survive this. So as long as I don't get flinched. I think we're okay. Download gives us special attack boost as well. Very nice. So I mean Leaf Storm into Dracovish and Trick Room. I don't think Max Lightning Rock Slide is a KO, so my opponent needs a flinch right now or a critical hit. So the odds are in our favor, but it's still scary. Okay, they just go for Rock Slide. Yeah, Rock Slide makes sense. You know Sun is up. Yeah, Porygon takes pretty much no damage there. Crit is on the Lilligant, so yeah, I'll take that. As long as Porygon's the one not getting crit. So this is Electric Terrain boosted Max Lightning, but it's not Life Orb Zolt. Oh, we take that, yeah. We just need to avoid a flinch. Okay. I mean, that was their only play, so obviously I can't fault them for that, but it still sucks. It's still maybe winnable, though. Still winnable. I think the Dracozolt on their team is actually maybe weakness policy, if I remember correctly. If you're my opponent, you Rock Slide and Max Lightning Porygon. I don't think Smite is a one-hit KO on a Dracozolt. If it's weakness policy, then you guarantee KO me the next turn. So I'd rather KO Dracovish here, I think. I could ally switch here too, but I don't know if I actually want to. No, I don't want to. Shame on the flinch. Without the flinch, it's definitely over, because then I just bring in Hat, Smite the Dracovish, recover, and then win off that. But, I mean, Hatterene still gives us a decent shot at this. I just, yeah, I like, if we don't one-shot the Dracovish, maybe I'm underestimating, or sorry, the Dracozolt. Like, I think, okay, he's just gonna Rock Slide. I mean, that's not surprising. And it should be Max Lightning into Porygon. Oh, they target Hat. That doesn't KO us, does it? Okay, we're good. Actually, we can still flinch here, so we're not guaranteed good yet. Let's see. But we KO Dracovish. So now it's like Dracozolt's confused and has to attack through Hustle in non-max form, right? Do we flinch again? Bruh! Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so frustrating. Well, that's why you lock yourself into Rock Slide. So now my opponent has to attack through Confusion and Hustle. The question is whether I Max Guard Trick Room or just attack. I think Max Guard Trick Room is more optimal because if they target incorrectly and we get the Trick Room up, they just lose. And even if they target Porygon correctly, we still have, you know, Confusion plus Hustle to play with next turn. Yeah. It's frustrating though, but I want to do the calc against Dracozolt because I remember playing against this player. They had weakness policy Dracozolt in the past. Okay, they hit themselves in Confusion, so kind of justice for the double flinch. I wonder who they were targeting there though. Like I wouldn't be too surprised to see them make the correct target onto Porygon, but if I attack with Hatterene there, they don't confuse and they get the Bolt Beak off. Actually, maybe P2 still wins in that endgame. I don't know. Wait, sorry, I should Mind Storm here. Or sorry, Smite. And just recover. Oh, that was a banger of a game, though. I didn't know what to lead with, but yeah, Lilligant Torkoal ended up being the correct call. Let me quickly calc Dracozolt. Because if it's a one-hit KO, even if it's like max HP Dracozolt, then I absolutely should have just targeted Dracozolt. But I didn't know my calc there super well. So, Hatterene into Dracozolt. Max Dracozolt. It could have been AV Zolt as well, right? We didn't see the item. And that could also make some sense. Never mind. This is a KO. Max Starfall's a KO. So unless they're... I mean, if they're Assault Vest, like that's not super scary then because they don't actually do very much damage. So I think the better play would have been just to target the Dracozolt outright there. Although I guess Dracozolt could have Max Guarded there, but that doesn't make any sense. So I don't think I played that endgame super, super well. Like, the odds are in our favor, but if I just target Dracozolt there... If you're Assault Vest, you don't do enough to actually KO me, right? Assault Vest is scary, though. Like, let's say it is Assault Vest, it survives. And then I don't KO the Dracovish. But then you're confused with both Pokemon next turn. What are the odds that it's also max HP Assault Vest Dracozolt, right? I think it's probably better to just target the Zolt there. Because I was thinking it was Weakness Policy, and I was thinking with Policy could survive a Starfall, but that's evidently not true. So, yeah. But that game was really scary because of the flinches. I mean, without the flinches, it's just over instantly, but yeah, like, my opponent went for the correct play of locking themselves into Rock Slide for the flinch chance, because Vicious Rend doesn't do that much with Sun being up. We're up against a Trick Room Sun team here, which is scary. And Lilligant Torkoal kind of sucks against Tyranitar, so I don't even feel like I can bring that, but then, I don't know, I think Charizard dunks on me super hard here. How do I even beat, like, Charizard Torkoal? I think I have to bring Lilligant just because Charizard Torkoal itself is such a big problem. At least with Lilligant, I can Sleep Powder, right? But it's like, I can't even, like, safely feel good about Trick Room because there's the Mimikyu plus the Torkoal component. This matchup looks bad, honestly. But we're going to try our best. Lilligant. Urshifu? Torkoal, Hatterene. Let's try this out. Drapion doesn't do anything for us here, I think. It doesn't hit anything for super effective, pretty much. I mean, it can do well against Mimikyu, but that's it. Everything else, it's just kind of mediocre against. So yeah. I think the logic here is Charizard is super, super, super powerful. With the potential Torkoal switch in, I can just go for Leaf. Oh, okay. This is what I wanted to see. They're going to set up the Sun for us. They are going to set up the Sun for us. And this is interesting now, because does my opponent switch Torkoal out into Tyranitar and max Airstream? You could also actually protect. You could switch Torkoal out into Tyranitar and protect turn 1, but I think one play I can kind of make here is Sleep Powder into the Charizard and Close Combat to cover the option of Torkoal switching out. I guess my opponent could also just not max the Charizard, and that would be pretty bad, right? If you don't max Charizard, you switch into Tyranitar, and then you just, like, Air Slash, KO my... Oh, but then you don't have Solar Power, and I don't think you actually KO the Urshifu. They're going to stay in and max. Wow. Okay, if we hit the Sleep Powder, we're golden. Because it's definitely Charizard maxing. This is the lead I wanted to see. Like, when you have, like, a bad matchup, you kind of just have to try to figure out, like, at least what gives you a chance. Because, like, Torkoal Lilligant would have been useless for me here. Oh, it might be Lum or Goggles. That's probably it. Okay, no Goggles. Are you Lum? Are you having fun, son? Yeah, it's Lum. Okay. Then it's unwinnable. I don't even know what we can do in this matchup. Hey, at least, actually, Lilligant outspeeds this next turn, but I do not have a single way to hit this Charizard. I think, yeah, that explains why my opponent let this. Well done, well done, well done. If you have Tyranitar in the back, the correct play here is just to switch Torkoal into Tyranitar this next turn. It's looking a little rough. I guess I could have, after you, max the Urshifu, but I don't know about that one. Yeah, it's not looking good. If you switch out into Tyranitar, I mean, the play is to switch out into Tyranitar and probably G-Max into the Hatterene. Which will faint. So maybe my play is Sleep Powder here and max guard Hatterene. It's the only thing I can think of right now because this is just so bad. Maybe they don't have Tyranitar. But if they don't have Tyranitar, we put the Charizard to sleep. That's actually okay too. But yeah, Lum Charizard is becoming increasingly common to cover for Venusaurs. Lilligant obviously does kind of a similar role to Venusaur with those fast Sleep Powders with Chlorophyll. So it's a great counter to what we have. I don't know. Drapion doesn't do anything against this lead. Porygon takes way too much damage from some boosted fire type attacks. Yep, there's the switch out. Probably Tyranitar. Yeah. I don't even know what we can do in this matchup other than maybe leading like Porygon to Hatterene. Honestly, if I were to play a best of 3, like I think I might just go for like try to max Hatterene turn 1 and go for confusions. I don't even see what else we can do. At least here, yeah, I'm hoping that they, like, G-Max into the hat, trying to prevent Trick Room. Don't respect it, and then I, like, at least put Charizard to sleep. But even then, what in the world do we do afterwards, right? This is the only play I could think of. Wow, and they even Max Quake into Lilligant. So I could have Trick Room there and then go for Confusions with Hatterene, but that will seal up the game. Nice play. Nice play. Was it worth going for Trick Room there? Maybe, because I'm so far behind, but I don't even see how I win with... I could win with Torkoal and Hat under Trick Room, I guess. Well done, though. This was just... Yeah. The Lum makes this so much harder. Without Lum, like, the lead actually we had worked out specifically against what my opponent had, but Team Preview already looked pretty rough. Because, like, Tyranitar counters Torkoal Lilligant. They can reverse my Trick Room. Their Torkoal takes advantage of Trick Room. I kind of needed to bring Torkoal for offense, but then they've got two really strong Fire-type Pokemon. Yeah, it's all just pretty rough. I literally do not know what we can even do at this point. Because my opponent should just UMax Wildfire into the Hatterene. Rock Slide Torkoal. Yeah. I think it's just a loss. This was pretty much, I think, like one of the worst matchups we could have run into. Charizard plus Tyranitar. And they even have Max Quake. This just one-shots us, right? Okay, we survive. Last turn, that was a nice Max Quake, though. I don't know, if I Trick Room, there's like at least a chance, because I can like confuse my opponent. But now it's just pretty much over. If I Trick Room last turn... Yeah, I would have gotten Trick Room up, and it was Torkoal Hatterene. So I think, I don't know, I probably needed a Trick Room last turn, but I was thinking my opponent needed to respect the Trick Room, and so they were just going to target down the Hatterene and, you know, try to pick up a one-hit knockout onto it. So I don't really regret that play. We're so far behind, you pretty much have to make a big play one way or another, and my opponent was just one step ahead of me here. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, this just looks like an abysmal matchup. Because, like, Torkoal Lilligant gets shut down by a Lumberry, and my opponent has Sand. Urshifu gets dunked on by Charizard, nor can I could change the weather with a Hailstorm, I guess. And they had Mimikyu in the back, okay. So yeah, I think it was possibly winnable if I Trick Roomed, but I don't really regret the Max Guard play, because I think my opponent really needed to consider just, you know, knocking out Hatterene. I'm sounding like a broken record at this point. Just trying to think what else I can do in this matchup. Max Urshifu. I don't know. I could go like P2 Urshifu. No, but they're just going to Airstream, so they're just going to always outspeed me with Charizard. So that doesn't work. I think Charizard is just a tough matchup. Like, you know, it's not that common anymore, so that's one of the reasons why I think, you know, a lot of teams in the current metagame, like, you should prepare for it, but, and I think, like, if it doesn't have Lum, then, you know, Lilligant is the answer here. But with Lum, maybe just leading Porygon 2 and trying to set up Trick Room. Like, if I were to replay this, I'd probably go Porygon 2 plus Lilligant. I like that more. Actually, yeah. In a best of 3, now that I know that the Charizard has Lum, what I would do is probably lead Porygon 2 Lilligant and try to Sleep Powder into the non-Charizard slot. Although, I don't know if Charizard one-shots Porygon in Sun with G-Max Wildfire. Because if that's a one-shot, then we really have just no option, pretty much. Because like... Charizard just takes advantage of the Sun so nicely and just one-shots everything with Airstream or Flare. And he even has Max Quake to boot, so that actually dunks on my Torkoal as well. I don't even know why I'm prolonging this. But, hey, Charizard's hitting itself in Confusion. But we don't have a ground-type attack, so it's like the Torkoal in the back's just going to dunk on us anyway. Okay, good switch, yeah. That's a guaranteed win on my opponent's end because they have Scorching Sand, so it's like, don't bother with... me potentially having like Earth Power critting into Torkoal. All you have to do is switch out, come back in, and just Scorching Sands for the win. Really nicely played on my opponent's end. They, you know, brought something that was very consistent against anything that we could have brought. I actually want to calc the Charizard attack. Actually, because they're not Life Orb, I think we can survive with Porygon. So, I think the play, if I were to replay this in a best of 3, is to lead Porygon and just try to set up Trick Room. Like, if we try to set up Trick Room, at least we have a chance here. Right? Yeah, Porygon should survive that. Yeah, even if it's base 150, I think we're okay. Let's see. Yeah. So, yeah. Matchup is bad, but there's still options. In a best of 1, though, I think it was going to be very hard to win that. But in a best of 3, I think we lead Porygon Lilligant, because then I pressure with Sleep Powder at least onto Charizard's partner, and then I also pressure with Trick Room. Torkoal, Lilligant, Porygon. I bring in Hatterene in the back because that can one-shot the Torkoal. And then it's a prediction of, like, does Torkoal protect turn 1? It probably does, but then Lilligant even stays out on the field. I don't know. At least I can get Trick Room up and try to do something. And then in this game, like, it was still winnable if I try to go for Trick Room the turn that my opponent ended up max quaking. But, yeah. In that position, I was really thinking the G-Max Wildfire would come out. So, nicely played on my opponent's end. Really tough team to go up against. But, you know, sometimes you just run into bad matchups. And once again, these matchups aren't unwinnable. You just have to try to figure out how to adjust. And I think, like, even though we're playing best of 1s, I think, like, me describing what I would do at least would give you some insight in how we could potentially adjust our play. So, yeah. That is going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to answer that question of the day. And I'll catch you guys soon. All right. Peace.